had a very good conversation yesterday with Secretary Dunn and the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources about a 20-year contract that the state has entered into with Agile Networks. And the purpose of the contract is to market Commonwealth assets to telecommunication providers, to build cellular towers or other necessary infrastructure on our state property for the purpose of deploying high-speed internet to unserved and underserved areas. At least that's what we initially thought. So the details of the contract had really been lacking, and as the chair of the Communications and Technology Committee here in the Senate, I think it's really critically important that we work together on this front to address an issue that is what I would call a gateway to pushing every county in Pennsylvania into the 21st century. So I have a few questions on the Agile contract. Is a 20-year contract with 2 5-year renewals common in Pennsylvania?
I really am not familiar with that contract to answer that. I mean, there are specific related often to lease type issues that we do have those large year contracts, but as far as that specific contract, I'm not familiar with it.
But it's not typically common.
Generally not, I would say, but I'm not a procurement expert.
So with the governor making closing our digital divide a priority, why can we not take the money from the initiative to help deploy broadband to those unserved and underserved areas? Because by the administration's estimate, this could raise over $100 million.
I'm just not familiar with it.
Well, it was initially proposed that that large sum of money would go to the further deployment of broadband, and then it was changed. So you're not familiar at all with this?
No.
So
I'd have to look into it and get back to you.
So I was told that the money for that is actually going to go back to each of the departments from which the assets are used or monetized, and that it wouldn't go to the general fund.
I don't know.
So let me explain to you what my fear is. My fear is that, one, we have a middleman now in Agile. This becomes another conversation like we've had over pharmacy benefit managers who will be profiting off of these contracts when, one, we could just market it to those telecommunication firms directly. And two, I think that just sending the money back, Secretary Dunn basically said that they would use the money as they saw fit. So I think that any money that's generated off of contracts with taxpayer resources should really come back to the General Assembly, go through the general fund and the appropriations process, and make determinations going forward about those resources.
What was it was not going back into the general fund, it was going into a special fund?
They said it's not going into a general fund, it's not going to a special fund, that it would go directly back to those agencies.
Well, those agencies are often funded with a general fund, so I'd have to look into that mechanism.
I'd appreciate having that conversation
Sure.
going forward. Thank you very much.